In today's video, we're going to be diving into the upcoming pattern, taking a look at colder temperatures, really colder than what we've even been expecting. We've been constantly seeing on the models kind of a warm up towards the end, but that has been pushed back and pushed back and pushed back. So I think that the premise today is that we are sort of reverting back to a pattern that was similar to what we had in the winter, which is repetitive troughs in the east and a warmer, drier pattern in the west. We call that a positive PNA, and really that warmth and high pressure in general out west is what causes the cold to move into the east. Again, this is what we saw in the winter. Obviously, it won't be as cold as the winter. The averages are much higher now as we're in April, so it's going to still be April climate, but we are going to be below normal for what it would typically be here in April here in the east. And there's even snowfall chances. We're going to be talking about that. I wanted to talk to you guys about one thing real quickly. I am going on vacation tomorrow, so every video for about a week after this one is pre-made. We're going to be doing a seasonal series. I already have all of those recorded. So we're going to be doing a rest of spring kind of overview, summer overview, fall overview. We're going to talk a little bit about the fall and everything we know so far, and even a little sneak peek at the winter. Really, all that video is going to be, hold your horses, it's not going to be a forecast or anything, but it's going to be talking about where the ENSO is headed. So if we're going to be in a La Nina or El Nino potentially, and also kind of just talking about some climate stuff, just talking about history and cold winters and how those winters following usually do. We had a cold winter. Typically they come in pairs, so we're going to be discussing that as well. A hurricane season video and a few others. So be looking forward to that stuff. I will be back, but there will be a video every single day, even while I'm on vacation, which is super, super cool. Going to be filming an awesome vlog, by the way, as well, which you can check out on the Ashton Blue channel, which is in the description and pinned comment down below, as well as the top right corner of your screen. We'll put it up there. So if you want to look forward to that vlog, it's going to be an awesome one. Let's take a look at the 6 to 10 day temperature outlook just to get an idea of what NOAA is thinking, the National Weather Service overall. This is the 15th through the 19th. We do see that higher pressure, warmer pattern out west just dominating, and they've even kind of shifted towards this colder look as well here in the east that you can see here. So a dominant trough just really sitting over this region here for the 15th through the 19th. And as we look at the precipitation, this is going to cause drier conditions overall over the west. A lot of these storms are rising up through the southern plains into the Midwest and Ohio Valley, Great Lakes area, and I suspect there will be a decent amount in the east as well. Looking at the 8 to 14 day temperature outlook, it doesn't change too much. This is for the 17th through the 23rd, and we see the warmer temperatures, likely higher pressure, positive PNA pattern, and this forces the cold air into the east. So another cold time frame here in the east, even as we're pushing towards the end of April. At this point, if these two outlooks verify, we are likely to see a colder April in the east than what's typical, which is crazy because it was so hot in the beginning, but we really have turned around and the long-range guidance doesn't look too different. Looking at the precipitation, we do see same thing, drier in the west, again, indicative of higher pressure, and overall wetter here for a lot of the Midwest, South Central states, and even into the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic there. Looking at our European model, we're just going to work through the guidance here. As we take a look, we see showers and even snow showers around for the Great Lakes, Ohio Valley, and moving into the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast here from today into tonight and into tomorrow. And what we see is, crazy enough, we already have a ridge in the west, trough in the east. So those medium to long-range outlooks we just looked at is just a continuation of this. From what I can see on the model runs, we can anticipate 3 pretty significant Arctic blasts here over the next 2 weeks. So yeah, just really, really cold pattern. Again, dry and warm in the west. And look at this. We have a pretty decent thunderstorm event for Friday going on for these areas, even all the way down the southeast coast here. We can see thunderstorms flaring up according to short range guidance. This is going to turn into a bit of a nor'easter, so a low is going to form. This is all going to shove its way up northward. So watch this. It's going to wrap around that trough, move up into the northeast. Look at that snowfall from northeast Pennsylvania, northern New Jersey, southern New York, into southern New England. I suspect that this could be an elevation-based event based on just climatology. So looking at probably the valley seeing more mixed rainfall, higher elevation seeing more snowfall, but still an impressive system up there in the northeast. Nevertheless, for Saturday the 12th, this is the short range, so likely there is some truth to this. It's not super far out. It's not a far-fetched outlook. We do rebound by Sunday, Monday timeframe, Sunday the 13th, and especially Monday the 14th here into a warmer pattern in the east. which is interesting. We have a ridge in the west, trough in the central, and then a ridge here in the east. But this trough is moving eastward, so it's going to be a very brief warm up before that cool down. The second Arctic blast moves in. We do have a low here between the Hudson Bay and Great Lakes, which is a great indicator of cold heading eastward. And then there's snowfall up here for Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, and Canada overall. Looking at Tuesday, the cold has now returned to the east. It's another dreary day here for the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast. As you can see, mostly rainfall, but some snowfall for the colder areas. Again, another high elevation event probably there. Tuesday the 15th. That cold and snow continues. It lifts off a little bit, but by the time we're reaching Friday, Saturday, Arctic blast number 3 moves in, and this European model has a strong low moving onshore, kind of wrapping around the trough, which is a little bit inverted, back onshore to New Jersey and Pennsylvania. This could cause some Appalachian mountain range snowfall as far south as Tennessee and North Carolina, up through Virginia, West Virginia, Maryland, and Pennsylvania. It's a little warmer up here because your low is here, warm front is here, so we're getting this warm flow heading onshore to New England, but we're equally getting a cold push that's moving around and south of that low. So that's why it's colder down here than it is up here. Kind of odd. Looking forward towards Sunday, we see that come to an end, and we do actually end up on like a colder or a warmer note here, which I guess is good news. I'm cheering for the warmth, by the way. A lot of people say that I have a cold bias, but for the springtime, April 25th, I want it to be warm. But we've seen repetitive Arctic blasts on this model run. We do see a warmer time here. We get this low right here. So we get the warmth to the east of it, some thunderstorms flaring up to the northeast of it, and overall the east of it. It does look like we're kind of primed for another maybe cold blast at the end of this model run, so keep that in mind as well. GFS model, we're going to get pretty good agreement here. Trough number 1, some snowfall there in the northeast and mid-Atlantic again for Saturday the 12th. Mostly elevation in my opinion. That low moves through the Great Lakes. It's a little further south there. We see some Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Michigan snowfall. A lot more of it on this model than the European model. And even some northeast snowfall by the time we're reaching Wednesday the 16th with Arctic blast number 2. We don't really get the third one on this model. We actually end up back in an active severe weather pattern. We get these lows moving kind of across the plains and then back to the north. This should bring heavier snowfall events to the northern Rockies and northern plains, but also it's going to spell some severe weather chances throughout the plains and Midwest likely. We actually get another pretty similar storm moving through as well, so a second one. And then it looks like we're going to have an active stormy pattern for the end of April here in the east, according to this model. Total precipitation here on the European model is going to be pretty active, especially for the central plains into the upper Midwest, Great Lakes, Ohio Valley, Mid-Atlantic, and Northeast. Maybe not enough to push us above average, but it's going to be decent. Most areas in this entire map will be below average. So let's take a look at it. And sure enough, very dry in the Northwest, especially very dry for the deep south up into parts of the Midwest. And the wettest areas will be this kind of Great Lakes, Ohio Valley, Mid-Atlantic, and Northeast corridor there. And even then, nothing hugely above average in those areas. Total snowfall on the European model, again, elevation mostly, but we do see some decent snowfall throughout the Appalachian Mountain Range into the Mid-Atlantic, Northeast area there. The Rockies, Cascades, and Sierra Nevada do slow down because of the overall drier pattern, and there's very little to discuss across the Northern Plains and Upper Midwest. The GFS model is going to be a little bit different. More for the Northeast, none for this like Southeast Appalachian Mountain Range area, which isn't too surprising. I wouldn't be surprised if it starts at West Virginia northward. That's how these events tend to go. The Mountainous West does a lot better on the GFS model, and especially the Midwest and Northern Plains get snowfall here, which is notable because the European model had none. Let's quickly take a look at the Storm Prediction Center for these outlooks to day 1. Or actually, we're already on day 2. Let me look at day 1. Let's move back. We do have a general thunderstorm risk across the southeast, across parts of the Midwest here. In the lighter greens, it's going to be where we expect general thunderstorms, but anything is possible, so still heed every watch, warning, and advisory. In the darker green areas, we do have a marginal risk, a level 1 of isolated severe weather is what we typically expect in those areas. And then the yellow area there for some of the Gulf states up through Tennessee, Kentucky, Missouri, Arkansas, and a little bit of southern Illinois. That is where we expect some scattered about severe weather to occur. That's again for today on Thursday the 10th. Looking towards tomorrow, Friday the 11th, we do have a marginal risk again up and down that southeast coastline. Pretty expansive general thunderstorm risk tomorrow as well. And then day 3, we see parts of the northern plains, upper Midwest, and even the northern Rockies seeing a general thunderstorm risk with no extended outlook. So we have nothing beyond this. Again, we've been calling for a quieter severe weather kind of segment, little portion here throughout kind of like the early to midpoint of April. Obviously starting in the last couple of days, because right before that we had one of the, biggest back-to-back days of tornadoes I can remember. So we've had very active severe weather up until just a couple of days ago, and we've really slowed down. And thankfully, it looks like that slowdown could last quite a while. I'll have more on that very, very soon, though. Be sure to subscribe. We upload every single day, even when I'm on vacation. You can hit the bell icon for daily notifications when we upload so you never miss one. Be sure to like the video if you did enjoy it. Leave a comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.